blue-red flash. So blue-green flash is the deck that took the last Mythic Championship by storm, and I do think the blue-green flash deck is the better flash deck for having a greed arms race. So against like the oven decks and people that are main decking casualties of war, I do think the blue-green flash deck is better suited for those matchups. However, like the Grand Prix this past weekend, black-red aggro won the Grand Prix. So I think this variation of flash, because of things like Bonecrusher and Dragonfire and Shock, is much better suited for competing with the small creature decks. I also don't think this deck has a terrible matchup against the bigger decks in the format. It's just slightly worse against them than what the blue-green deck does. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this one and see how it goes. This is one of my favorite decks in Standard right now. There is about 3 weeks until the next Mythic Championship qualifier event on Arena, so I need to find a Standard deck that I like for that. My sword is so close I can taste it. Keep up the good work. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year, Android. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hey, Toastmaster. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that jazz to you and yours as well. Sneaper Keeper here. Jaffish, thanks for the 10. Closing in on the 12. Welcome back. To hold up Shock and Opt here with the Steam Vents on 1, which is nice. I'll bottom the extra land for now. See if we live to regret that decision. Maybe with the... I didn't have the Embercleave, right? Yeah. Just go ahead and quench the Leaf Kindred. I believe Leaf Kindred tends to be indicative of the ramp deck that Menguchi had played at the last Mythic Championship. The Martyr deck was actually really good this morning, Markov. I would not be surprised if there's a competitive Demonic Pact deck in Pioneer, based on how that deck played out. Risen Reef didn't ramp them at least, so we've got that going for us. We're actually looking for a red source, so bottoming that mountain feels a little bit bad, but again, didn't have the Embercleave when we did it. They shocked that in. Wonder if they're just like playing around Quench or if they have another 2-drop here. I'm going to go ahead and Quench this because if I draw an untapped red source, I'm going to Embercleave this and try and 2-turn clock them. Boop. Boop ya on the nose. Sure. They don't have a way to interact with our borrowers. That means that a red source could be lethal next turn with the Embercleave. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Red source is still lethal because this gets +1/+1. I hope. Do you think our opponent's having fun, chat? You think fun is the name of what they're having? That's actually very good. Kind of need to hit a red source now. Even if we do hit a red source, we're in a little bit of trouble, huh? Because they get to quasi-duplicate this thing. Huh? Do I just scry here? I think I'm gonna scry for a red source. That's brutal. Think I'm supposed to keep it. Technically a red source, yep. The big thing this deck gains in Historic is better mana. Hey, Thomas. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Gunther. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Haikus are easy, but sometimes they don't make sense. Refrigerator. Excellent. If they get greedy and attack here with either of these, the Embercleave is lethal. I'd be pretty surprised if they did that, though. So Dream Eater gets to exile the, or get rid of this token, basically. And then we have lethal in the air. Like trying to fade Hydroid Crisis here. That doesn't bode well for our hero. So still on 1, right? They have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they can Crisis for 9, gain 4. Shake my world, baby. Are we dead? It's pretty good. Last couple cards. So if I block here, I take 4, 12, 16, 17. I'm not dead, right? I go to 1 and then I killed him on the backswing. Oh, did I miscount? 4, 12. Oh, the leaf. Was the leaf gonna. Wait. 4, 12, 16. It was 19. Yeah, it was 19. It's a pretty good last couple cards for them to have. Not bad. So, would have won that if I'd have hit my red source sooner. Well, the Leafkin wasn't attacking. I just did 12 plus 4 to get to 14. I think I'm pretty happy with what we've got going on here for the most part. Maybe I want some more Mystical Disputes. It does always counter Hydroid Crisis, which is nice. Scorching Dragonfire is not super useful. Let's do this. They're going to board in Disputes of their own. Thin margin that game. Yeah, so we took 19 after I blocked. Our shock land on the first turn of the game ended up costing us. Send that right back where it came from. You can take Todd Stevens emotes and shove them where the sun don't shine. Nothing that represents that man is ever welcome in my chat. If you're not sure why I'm telling you that, you should Google the name Todd Stevens. I think I'm gonna bottom this. Bottom that. they have a non-blue 5-drop next turn, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. It's like dead to Nissa or Nissa or Cavalier here, which they thankfully don't have. That's nice. Sure. Cutthroat, huh? I don't know, maybe Party Bus. There's a chance that there's someone that doesn't know that Todd Stevens is human garbage. But so if they message me and tell me that's the case, I will definitely unban them. But if they're aware of who he is and are okay with that, I'm not okay with them being here, so. Yeah, they could have a disruption of their own. They could also just, like, have this, have Growth Spiral, though. So, smells like a Hydrate Crisis. They still get to draw 3 cards. Correct, but I mean, like, Todd knows that people won't support him if a lot of people won't support him if they know who he is, so he bans people very quickly that bring up who he is in his chat. So there's, you know, a real possibility that, like, people could be sub to him who just don't know. Never attribute malice to that which ignorance suffices. I think we're dead. Yeah, I didn't bring in my Lava Coils, right? Yeah, we're pretty dead here. This build's definitely much worse against Ceratops than the blue-green flash build is. Naveer, thanks for the 22 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yes. Yeah, that's very true as well, Naveer. I mean, like, it's funny. We were talking about cancel culture last week and that not really being a thing. Like, he's still one of the most successful Magic streamers on Twitch. That's just like looking at the metrics. A lot of people don't care. Or don't know, you know. I'm gonna play this tapped on one, I think, here, and save my opt for post Cutthroat. Wonder if we'll even hit Mythic this month. There's a chance, I guess. We're down in Diamond 4, though. Yeah, well, Ceratops doesn't have Vigilance, but it has Reach, Bruno. So we can't beat it with Reach. Welcome back, opponent. So we're hoping to draw a third land naturally. Maybe a reason to shock in and opt on one is because I didn't have the third land lined up already. That could definitely be the case, because, like, if I'm about to miss the third land, I'm probably going to opt main phase. I guess I really can't afford to have them stick Teferi. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here so I can hold the negate up. If they don't give me something to negate, we'll opt. I assume the text box is Vigilance. Yeah, it's Reach, Trample, Haste. Here's a question. Have there been more playable green cards with haste than playable red cards with haste in recent memory? Like, I know, like, on a raw count, there's almost certainly more red cards with haste than green cards with haste, but in terms of constructed playable ones, I feel like we've seen more constructed playable green cards with haste than red in recent memory. Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't compare them on raw counts, but in terms of playable ones. All right, so in response to this trigger, I'm gonna petty theft this, because then my borrower never leaves play, which is great. Down to 8. Does Riot count? Yeah, I guess with Riot, there's probably more playable red cards. Although I guess some of the playable Riot cards are also green. Like Spellbreaker and other stuff like that. If they have a third Teferi, we could be in trouble here. Solar Blaze. All right, let's check out our options before we just let this happen. All right, he's dead. Yeah, and some of it's semantics too. Like, I don't think I'd count a lot of the miscellaneous, like, red aggro poopers. They're just like, have to have synergy to be playable. They're probably dead here. Yeah, very dead. They complete 2 spells for the turn, so... The Fires matchup is very good for these flash decks. That's for sure. Embercleave, not particularly good here. Scorching Dragonfire, not particularly good here. Shock and Bonecrusher are both fine for finishing off Teferi after he downticks. Reality Smasher's the best haste creature. He is a heck of a haste creature, you're not wrong. One thing I'm not certain of in this blue-red build is 0 Gadwicks. Gadwick's definitely awkward against some of the other flash decks, but he's a good catch-up card otherwise. Washington. Flash eats my fires alive. Yep, big agree there. Thanks for the 5 months, I appreciate it. Yeah, Gadwick is a good card for sure. It's very good against, like, the oven decks when you're, like, getting mid-rangey. The question is, like, how often does this deck feel it necessary to get mid-rangey? Pretty easy mulligan here. No early pressure, no second land. Yeah, this is fine. One of these subs in the Discord server said that Commence the Endgame was very good against blue-green flash, which makes sense. It's a card that draws you extra gas, and it can't be countered there. It's fine against control. The problem with it against control is that it's, that's the word I'm searching for. Against control, Teferi can just bounce the token. So I assume this is dead. really in? Why did they shock in that land? I'm so confused. My 4-year-old sister said again with the talking box guy. What's going on, Mikey? Happy Monday. That missed land drop there is probably the death of them. I almost feel bad when we play games like this because, like, they're just not particularly close, right? We'll let that come into play. We'll bounce this in response. Like, feels like a weird concession. I don't know. We're pretty much set. Christy and I have to do some wrapping for the stuff we got the kids, but the house is ready for Santa. Jake got, I don't think I tweeted a picture of it. Let's see if it's a steakhouse. A picture of our red tree. This is the tree at night. The branches and lights are both red, which Jake loves. Red is Jake's favorite color. Hey, Alan. Thank you for the 2/3 of the year. I appreciate you. Welcome back. The sassy man play the children's card game. Sassy is a nice way to call what I do. What I am. Good way to call it. Alright, probably another Fires deck, which likely bodes well for us. Now, I'm missing red mana, but closing with this is pretty important, so I think I am going to neglect to opt on one here so I can play it post-Cutthroat. Peace, Sean. Sounds good, Stober. It's been a couple of years since we did a Christmas tree live stream. Life's been hectic. Last year, Christy and I were house hunting around this time. Right, if we find a red source, this hand's very good. This card. Can we just, like, you could stack your deck to, like, always have this card on 2. It would be so good. I'd like to negate your stomp. Non-subs do not have the option to pay shillings to talk anymore, no. After a sample run of doing that, it just wasn't working out how I wanted it to work out. Right on time, Basic Mountain. How did I want it to work out? I don't know. I don't know. I have an answer to that question. It left me feeling largely frustrated and annoyed. There's just like less nonsense comments in general when we're in sub-only mode. Alright. If we Ionize something and then get to untap and draw a red source, they'll be very dead. Untapped red, please. Untapped red, please. Hey, Master Beardsman. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at in the world. Well, you know. If they have a third Teferi, we're in a lot of trouble. My liberal bias is always conflicted with the never-ending mountains of proof that not all people need a voice. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Yep. Unlike Pete Buttigieg, though, everybody who supports me gets the same amount of voice. You don't get extra voice here for sending me extra money. I just bottom looking for the 6th land for this Dream Eater. I think that's what I do. Well, I mean, that also works, right? Need to fade Deafening Clarion here. That's true. We could die here, huh? If they double pump, we're taking 8, 15, 21. So we are dead to blue cav, red cav. 1 cav, 2 cav, red cav, blue cav. Kenrith also... Kenrith doesn't kill us, but it puts the game out of reach. So need to fade Clarion, Cav, and Kenrith, which is actually quite a high number of cards, right? Our mana's definitely been awkward in these games. This will be, if we lose here, it's almost certainly because of our mana, and this is the 2nd game today we've lost to our mana, not having the double red for the Embercleaves. My kingdom for the Sulfur Falls that we have in Historic. I think that's not too big of a deal. This matchup's pretty reasonable for us on average. So hopefully we'll hit the W in the 2 post-board games. For those that are wondering why I conceded, my opponent can gain 5 life with their Kenrith, which puts the game solidly out of reach for us. People give you extra money and you give them extra voice. That's actually not possible. Sometimes I'd give swords early, but that doesn't let them talk more. Super straightforward sideboarding plan for us in this matchup. Why do we have 0 friends? Because Magic Arena is a mirror of real life. All you need to know about Magic R&D and how good they are at their jobs is Nexus of Fate and Kenrith were supposed to not be constructed playable cards. That's what you need to know about Magic R&D and balance. It hurts, Jeff. Sorry. Truth's brutal sometimes. I think, again, this is going to be a post-Cutthroat opt. With 3 lands lined up already. Just try and pump this up as much as possible. Great, we're gonna have some options next turn, chat. There's going to be some options. Can we add Shillionaires to your friends list? Nah. And by options, I mean they're gonna play a Teferi. Ooh, that's a weird card to bring in against me. feel like that's a strange one. With the Ionize draw here, we should be ahead in a pretty big way. We're going to smack them for 4, and then we have Opt plus Ionize next turn. Again, just like, can we please just always have Cutthroat on 2 in this deck? So this is our deck still Verve Secrets. Just like, can we just please always want this? They have Teferi plus Mystic Dispute here, we're in trouble, but outside of that exact line, I think we're pretty far ahead here. A lot of these decks play Tithe Taker now. Well, that's interesting. That's a reason to leave my Scorching Dragonfire in. Maybe that's something I'll do for the next game. Can Brineborn Cutthroat be our commander? Asking the real questions. Do I want to leave in Scorching Dragonfire? I haven't seen Tithe Taker yet. I'm just going to go ahead and run it back. Yeah, the Jeskai Fires deck from Portland had 4 Tithe Takers on the board. Wow! Leyline Prowler top-8'd the Grand Prix. It's a card. So they don't actually have 4 Sphinxes here. It's just a graphical bug. Shows double. I believe in our Scry 2. So we have 3 looks at an untapped land on 2. 3 looks at an untapped land on 2. Potential turn 2 Cutthroat, like, pretty hard to pass up here. Again, just like, the upside of this hand is high should we find the land. They just put 6 cards in the bottom of their deck. Can we go for 7? Top. Finally found what they're looking for, eh? I would love to top. Thoughts on the survey so far? Historic was more popular than I was expecting it to be, which is good because I've been enjoying playing Historic. So I'm glad Historic appears to be popular among people that are sending me dollars.
Be a bad idea. Stop that now.
I think it's also just like part of it is definitely just my arena numbers overall are just down. So like historically speaking, I would gain viewers when we transition to arena for Magic Online, and for the last little bit here, my viewer numbers have been almost identical on Magic Online as on Magic Arena. Well, that was the perfect draw. If I could stack my deck, that would definitely be the one I would put on top. Let's actually go ahead and fetch a mountain here. Yeah, I agree, Zix. I really hope they give both Field of the Dead and Oko a chance in Historic. Not only do I think there's a chance that those cards are okay, but I really just want Historic to feel different from Standard, or from Pioneer and Standard, and it doesn't currently, which I think is part of the problem with the format. Like, I would love if they're like, okay, we're gonna ban Nissa, have Oko back. It feels a little bit too much like Standard Rook. Oko and Field being legal would make it feel more unique, which I think would be a net positive for it. To a degree, Corel. I've looked at metrics for other players too, and like other streamers, sorry, not players, and like not everybody's numbers are down. Some other people are lower, some people are up, so it could just be the people, some people are busy this time of year, but definitely it's not all Magic streamers across the board that are down at the moment. Our draws have been very good here. This game definitely didn't feel very good to start, and it's definitely swung around to us. Very fortunate series of top decks. Yeah, I would start by banning Veil, Once Upon a Time, and Nissa in Historic. Just give me Oko and Field back so the format feels different than Standard. I think you could even start with just Veil and Once Upon a Time, but I would just cap Nissa for good measure. When you were grinding SCG Tour with Kiki Core, did you ever get fellow higher level players hating on your deck choice, and how did you deal with them? Well, I mean, the people that said my Kiki Core deck were bad were correct. That deck was never good. Kiki Core was a feel smart deck that I played well and put myself at a disadvantage in competitive tournaments to play because I was playing Magic to enjoy myself. Thanks for the 5 months there, Seta MTG. I think the MMO sounds great. I think Magic leveraging its IP in different ways like the MMO is awesome. Yeah, Croaky's numbers are definitely one of the ones that's up. And that could be part of the offset too. I don't know though necessarily that translates to though, because like it could also just be like the type of people who watch my stream, like my audience is a little bit different than like Croaky's audience, for example. So like Croaky's is definitely what I would describe as more of a try-hard streamer than what we are here, right? Like he has the focus of like what his stream is definitely more similar to like MPL players, whereas like what we do here tends to have more of a focus on like competitive casual stuff. I top-aided Comp Ariel the other week with 5-color Niv in Modern. It's really good and not a great deck. You can do well with decks and they make you happy. Yeah, I agree. Good players win with bad decks all the time. Heck, bad players win with bad decks some amount of the time. Would you be happy if they added Kaladesh Shaman but kept the suspensions? No, I mean, I would like it if they added those sets in, but again, I think Field and Oko are probably fine in Historic. All right, sweet. I'm excited to see this matchup. Hopefully they're playing the black-red deck from the Grand Prix. Waffles! Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Is competitive casual the feel smart way to say meme? What I describe as competitive casual, what I mean when I say that, is you are trying to play Magic well, but you're trying to play Magic well within the restrictions that you've given yourself. Would be my definition of what I mean when I say competitive casual. So competitive casual is you're like, all right, I want to build this deck or have my deck do this thing, but I want my deck to be the best at doing this thing that it can be. Lots of the decks I played at different points on the SCG tour were definitely decks that you were going to have a bad time with if you played them on your own. They have a Bonecrusher Giant here. I guess I have Negate, so it doesn't really matter. Shock is a great pickup. Bonecrusher Giant's a great pickup. Those are great draws. So I'm going to pass back here. And I'm going to prepare to just block this time through. Huh? What if I just, like, kill both their things here? I think that's fine. Grapple. Thanks for the 22 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I could kill these while they're tapped out, but I think I'd rather get the 1/1 counters on this when I kill them. Hopefully they attack with all here. So now I get to block, they pump, and I kill their thing in response to the pump. It might even be right to just kill this 3/1 here. I don't know. We're pretty far ahead in this race now at this point, though. Drawing a couple of removal spells in a row here was very good for us, obviously. Definitely run hot these last couple games here. When you're cutthroats the size of a rotting Regisaur, you're just like, yep, thank you. Mility K with the 47 months. It's a long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Coil's great. Flame Sweep's great. Dispute's not great. Negate's not great. I think some number of Ionize are supposed to come out here. I feel like this is probably a fine matchup to leave Embercleave in. Like to bump the Emery build. Will do, Bib. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. I think I like this configuration. If we drag these down here, our curve's a little bit more accurate. Got a lot of 2s, but seems good. Embercleave on the Giant 2-drop is real nice. Real nice. Similar HS, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I guess. Wouldn't be surprised this is supposed to be a mulligan. Could go either way here. This is good against Regisaur. This is like I don't have that many shocks in my deck. Put a mulligan to 5. So with that draw, I think I'm still playing Temple on 1. Temple versus Opt is pretty marginal. I'd like to get my tapped land down, I think. Oh, Doc Prof. I remember, so when I did my stint in corporate America, the company that I worked for, the company that I worked at had contract employees and actual internal employees, and I was a contract employee, which basically came with less benefits, but you did the same work as the internal employees. And like weeks like this, just like all the actual employees just like didn't show up. If you were someone who was on contract, you had to show up to actually get paid. I did. I moved my food station to my left, and behind me is a giant shelving unit full of board games now. That's The shelving unit's been like sitting in a box for like the last 3 months. The last few months have been crazy around my house, but finally got it put together over the weekend. They're playing something aggressive. The sand's not very good. They're playing anything even a little bit mid-rangey or controlling. The sand's fine. What are my favorite board games? This tweet still holds true. It's good. Quick reference for some of my favorites. Sand is probably not great against turn 1 Innkeeper. Some friends in Denmark. The company gave the employees holidays or told them to go home since nobody would show up this week anyways. Nice. I think I'm supposed to counter this, right? I think I'm supposed to counter this. Shelving unit looks sweet. Where'd you go? I have no idea. I don't make decisions like that, chat. Decisions like what furniture we're getting are above my pay grade. Happy Pigs describes me as a person. Happy Pigs is a great one. In my experience, it's pretty rare for good resource management games to play more than 4 people, and Happy Pigs plays 6 well. So it's one that we've played a lot. It's tough to find really good games in that genre for 5 and 6 people. Menu Masters does 5 as well, which is nice. I am popular. Do. No bumps, no deck list, just happy holidays to you and yours. Thanks for keeping me around, Thrin. I appreciate the biddies. Enjoy your center burrito. What stage of gift requests are your sons in at the moment? You know, I don't know if they've had any too specific requests. My oldest one, Jacob, my mother-in-law brought some gifts over because she lives 2 hours away, so let them open some stuff over the weekend. And just like everything he opened, he was just like, oh, this is my favorite. Just loves actual everything. I assume the whale emote is pay to win as well. Of course, the whale emote is pay to win. What do you think this is? All right, let's opt into an opt tier and blow them out. Rough. At least Blast Zone is going to get to kill all of these, so that's nice. Okay, we're actually in an okay spot here now with the Ionize draw. Hey, Ace, thanks to 11 months. An MTG becoming your job, heard it as an escape type game that you can lose your life on. No, I don't think so. It depends on like what I have coming up and what else is going on, but I do occasionally still play Magic off stream as my for fun thing. So Blast Zone's gonna crank to 2. God, Edgewall Innkeeper is such a beating. That's so unfortunate. I've not played Pandemic. Pandemic is a cooperative game, right? I'm not really big on cooperative games. You could say I don't play nice with others. Cooperative games tend to... The only pseudo-cooperative game I tend to enjoy is, what's it called? House on the Hill. Betrayal. Cooperative games tend to either be too easy or too hard a lot of the time in my experience. It's tough. It's tough to find a good middle ground with those style of games. Yeah, and Betrayal's like pseudo-cooperative, right? Like, it's not fully a cooperative game. I feel like I'm supposed to trim some Ionize here. I just don't want to be too reactive. Yes, alpha player. Like, the games like that don't, cooperative games that don't restrict your communication in some way often end up being one person who understands games or that particular game telling other people how to not suck, which is not great. Sure. Yeah. The Bonecrusher to kill our Cutthroat that last match was real rough. Artifact, Standard, Center Deck, and Historic or Standard. Not that I'm aware of, Sinfaith. I've seen some people try to work on all that glitters decks in Historic, but I've not played any of them, so I don't know if they're good or not. Ionize is a fine draw. Lava Coil doesn't kill that one, so let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. The question is, do I want a Lava Coil this Innkeeper here? I feel like I probably do. I'm gonna go ahead and pass back. If we find like an Embercleave here, we could maybe still be in this game. The net sets focus on enchantments might boost all the glitters. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Constructed playable enchant creatures tend to be bad more often than not, just because of the potential to get yourself 2 for 1. This is a Rimrock Knight, so I'm not blocking. We need more Bogles. Yeah, if Bestow, I was just about to say, actually, if Bestow comes back, we could see some constructed playable enchant creatures. I like the Bestow mechanic. They just have Shock. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. Alright, well, it's a pretty good pickup. Depends on how good their leftovers are here. If their leftovers are kind of medium and we hit a cleave, we could maybe be okay. I'm fine trading these here. They have Headroom Rock as well, so we're going to take 3 here, but these do trade off, so that's nice. Bestow's not coming back. That's sad. Hey, thanks for the 7 months, Bacon. I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at. Yeah, I really liked this deck at the start of the format. And, like, it's still fine if you really like it. But I'm kind of feeling like after playing this set today. I'm probably going to take this off of the list of decks I'm considering for the MCQ weekend. I feel like the power level of what this deck is doing just doesn't quite feel the same as some of the other decks as the format's become more optimized. Like, it's definitely capable of winning games, and if you love this style of play, which I do like, it's probably fine, but I think I'm looking for something that's probably a little bit more competitive than this for the MCQ weekend. Like, I'd expect, like, my estimate at the start that, like, this deck is probably better than blue-green flash against, like, the aggro decks is likely correct, but I don't think that's enough of a reason to play it. We played a variation of the Teamer Adventure decks last week, and it really didn't feel good. I was actually really surprised that the Teamer Adventures deck without Hydroid Krasis top 8 at the Grand Prix. I register Simic Ramp? Probably not. I find ramp decks incredibly tedious and boring to play for the most part. There's not a lot of player agency in them. I think that deck's very good too, but I just don't enjoy the play patterns of those style of decks on average a lot of the time. Oh, I think we're just passing for now. Bonecrusher is a good rip. Go ahead and kill this so the knight doesn't pump up. Sounds good. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to forum submissions today, so it might not be till after Christmas that you hear back from me if you submitted a forum. Really wanted them to Embercleave there. Maybe I'm just supposed to take this hit and wait a turn. Just because they're going to replay the 7-6 here. Which leaves us still in a pretty mediocre spot. Huh? So, Bonecrusher plus Dragonfire can kill the Rotting Regisaur here. I'm tired of trying to remember to resub each month using my Prime, just converted to a regular one, so I don't need to remember. Thanks, Scotty. I appreciate the support. Make sure when you do remember the Prime to drop it off at someone, though. It's like free extra money to someone else. Lord knows Jeff Bezos doesn't need it. Doldy, thanks for the 9 months. Welcome back. This is probably an Aether Gust matchup, huh? Feel like that's probably the case. This seems good. Bring in this from a bunch of the counterspells. Hey, Panda on Drugs. Checking in with that brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. And Bill Allman, thanks for the 3-month resub. You know, when it comes up. For people that are new subs too, or subs that didn't get the email over the weekend, I did send out my end of year sub survey to your Twitch emails. You can check your spam folder. You can also pop into the Discord server. And in the announcement section, that survey is linked. Always like to collect feedback every quarter from folks that pay my bills just to make sure the type of content I'm making aligns with the type of content they want to see. Y'all are essentially my bosses in a roundabout way. Thanks for the 7 months, Grey Wolf. Welcome back. So, there's a bug on Arena right now where the effect of your opponent's sleeve sometimes appears on your cards during sideboarding. Sorry, did I say bug? There's a feature that Magic Arena currently offers. That is what happens. If you never get the sub-survey, there's a chance you have emails turned off from Twitch, which I don't think Twitch ever sends anything directly, but you could look in your Twitch settings to make sure you have that enabled. No, this is the survey I mentioned that might happen after Christmas. I decided to put it together and send it out over the weekend. I'll probably take responses for the next week or so. I wanted to give people a longer time to submit since I know things can be crazy for folks around the holidays. What if we didn't? You can definitely turn that one off, Lucas Dragon. I think I just get my hand empty here, just like Bonecrusher this, play a 4-3. Since I don't have any spells left. Am I working on Christmas? I am not planning to. I definitely won't be live for my daytime slot tomorrow or Wednesday. I might do a short evening stream on one or both of those days, but that's gonna be more of a wait and see type thing. Depends on how the kids are when they go to bed, what Christie's plans are, etc. 6 mana unsummons, great chat. Big fan of 6 mana unsummon. we did get Gobbib. The Naya Feather deck was actually really sweet. I threw that one up on the historic page on my website. You did miss Pioneer. Usually we wrap up Pioneer about 11:30 most mornings. When will a build around me list be available? I'm not sure what you mean, Master Neo. Yep, Central Cornfield time. Always the Cornfield times. Nicotaz, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoglandia. We're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at. We probably just stomp this, right? Oh, usually I build the build around submissions the night before I play them. Is my usual timing. And once they get built, there'll be a link for the deck list added to the deck queue. The blue-red emerge deck isn't really a flash deck. It's more of a flying creatures deck. But yeah, that's my preferred blue-red deck in the format. Huh? I just pass here. I definitely don't want to put myself down a land. So let's Dragonfire this Gutterbones. Yeah, I guess that just happens. There was, speaking of flash decks in Pioneer, though, I believe it was An Aspiring Spike is their Twitter/Twitch handle. I saw they had posted over the weekend a blue-green Wilderness Reclamation deck that was very flashy. had Frilled Mystic, or it was a Sultai, sorry. It was a Scarab God Wilderness Reclamation deck. That seemed real neat. Super punished. Obviously should have just believed in the opt. Should have believed in the opt, chat. Do I cube it all? Not generally. 6 land here is real good. I have, this is right now is the smallest the deck queue's probably been all year, and there are currently 24 decks in it. So generally speaking, playing formats that aren't things that people have queued up tends to not be great for me. Might as well crank this up. They know about this. God, 4 is so many cards. So I definitely want this Brazen Borrower. 4 is so many cards. My assessment that this matchup is good for us, I think, is pretty on point. It's definitely felt good the 2 times we played it today. Let's play one more with this, and then we're going to take a quick ad break, and we'll come back with some girl aggro. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. Happy Monday, folks. Happy Christmas. Christmas Eve. The eve of the eve. Sure. Ian's got a Scry land and an up. Let's hit our first 6 lands here. Gilded Goose. Wonder if our opponent's going to be baking some Christmas cookies in their oven. Main deck Brontodon. Rude. What did my Embercleave ever do to you, opponent? We don't really have any solid traditions at the moment, Bib. My kids are only 4 and 5. This is actually, in past years, we've frequently driven up to visit other family in the Chicagoland area, and this is the first year we're not doing that in a while. Sure. If we can fade Mayhem Devil for a little bit, we might have a shot here. Do I like Eggnog? It's fine. I don't have strong opinions one way or another on it. If they don't deploy a Devil here, I'm probably going to opt plus drop second Brazen Borrower and just try and race them in the air here. With Embercleave especially, it's likely possible. I'm supposed to opt in response here and try and find an Ionize. It's probably the case. I'm going to keep the guaranteed 6th land. So we're going to end step this Borrower, and then we'll attack with both, put the sword into play on one of them. And then if they want to use the Brontodon, they have to eat a food, which is great. Which again, that makes it harder for them to race. So if they want to use the Trail of Breadcrumbs here, I get to get in a hit with Embercleave, which is great. And if they don't want to use Trail of Breadcrumbs, wow, they do. That's so greedy. Great. Again, just trying to fade Mayhem Devil here. They find a Mayhem Devil. I guess that maybe they're just like looking for Mayhem Devil because it wins the game on the spot. So that's the play to win line. I could see that. Mayhem Devil is a GG. Like looking for Murderous Rider. Is this last card a land? No, they can sack a Brontodon to kill the Embercleave. And then this Dream Eater is lethal then, right? Because they don't have mana to... They don't have mana to eat food. Yeah, Borderless Dream Eater looks real good. Alright, so definitely need Lava Coil because Mayhem Devil's gotta die. Embercleave's fine. Gust is good. Spyglass is good. Dispute's pretty bad here. Quench is kind of medium. I know this was good there, but maybe it's a little bit too slow. Too slow overall. Maybe Negate or Ionize is the trim. Ionize stops Mayhem Devil at least. Shock doesn't kill too many things out of them, right? Maybe it's just Shock as the trim. Let's do that. Yeah, Standard fine right now, Alex Jet. Got a bunch of Standard decks in the queue. Standard was actually the second most checked option so far that people are subbing to support. 78.5% of survey respondents say that they enjoy some amount of Standard. Yeah, maybe Quench is fine, just because stopping early Mayhem Devil is important. Can see that. What's number one? Pioneer is slightly ahead. So Pioneer, 80.5% of respondents have said they enjoy some amount of Pioneer, and Pioneer is 45% of people's number one favorite content on the channel right now. That's actually interesting to see. So Pioneer was like far and away the most popular in the November survey, but that wasn't a surprise because it was fresh. So it's good. Good to see. How's the feedback on Modern? Modern is going to be removed from my content lineup unless there's a drastic change in responses. less than half of people marked that they subscribed for some amount of modern content, and I think it's like less than 10% of people said it could impact their sub. Yeah. There were 7% of people said they're less likely to keep subbing if I cut modern, but 41% of people said they're more likely to keep subbing if I cut modern. So, it's probably done with that on this channel. There were major changes to modern. Yeah, definitely. Like everything is subject to, you know, variety happening essentially. I think I'm gonna wait on the Spyglass and just get my Cutthroat down to start killing them. Ebbs and flows are an important part of Magic. Kritcha, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having an excellent Monday wherever you're at in the world. Yeah, I agree, B-Blaze. I think a lot of people who are in for Modern have transitioned successfully to Pioneer. That's true. We could free up the Karn emote. I don't know if I can bring myself to get rid of the Karn emote, but I think we can definitely get rid of the Simian Spirit Guide emote. Ooh, I should update the Stapler emote too. Yeah, that's a good call. I have one more Modern deck in the queue, and it's actually the best deck in Modern, so that'll probably be fine. We're gonna play that one out at some point next month when it gets to the top, but no, I said a good deck, Socio Penguin. Slow and steady. You just keep on keeping on, little Cutthroat. Finally catching you live again on my lunch. Been a minute. The YouTube VODs are great. Hey, Holy Flab. Hope your end of year is wrapping up well. Thanks for 17 months. Welcome back. Still feels a little bit wild. I've been doing this so long as a hobby that 2019 is actually this is the end of my first year doing content full time. It's been a wild one. If I let this resolve, there's a good chance they start double spelling before I can get it under control. If they have Murderous Rider here and they kill my Cutthroat, I'm gonna be in trouble. They did not, so we're in a good spot. Yeah, if they ever did some kind of big shake-up banning in Modern, we'd probably poke our head back in, but you know, if there was another like Stoneforge Mystic unban level size unban, or like a Faithless Looting size banning, like maybe if they finally kicked Mox Opal's teeth in, maybe. Stick Kitty, thanks for the third of a year, welcome back. They ate the goose, eh? Corvald and Wicked Wolf. All right, well, this game's over. Suppose they could draw like Bonecrusher this turn, but that card's pretty uncommon in the opponent's archetype. So I'm gonna let this resolve, and then they'll sack a food to try and keep this alive. And then we'll bounce it with Brazen Borrower in response. So by letting this happen, I get a food out of them. Now, they could sack this. Oh, they can't sack it if they have things I've named of it. Get a good little tempo out of there. It's get to be solidly annoying. We get to go Aether Gust your play Brazen Borrower, kill you with Embercleave next turn. Welcome to Thunderdome, enjoy your stay. Yeah, I think that's a good list, Amachill. That would be a list that I would buy. I really hope 3-mana Teferi is not long for this world in Pioneer. Hope he's gonna soon be shown the door. So they're going up to 13 here. Which means... Oh, they can sack another food, right? To not quite be dead. They're going up to 16. Wait, are they still dead? So this puts me... This is a 5, so this is 8. So if I Aether Gust this will be 6, and then 14, 17. Yeah, so Aether Gust Trail of Crumbs means they're dead next turn. So I'm attacking for 17. All right, so thoughts on this. Definitely won more than we lost to set a low bar. The green matchups felt hard. The green blue matchups felt tough. I feel like if I was working on this, the thing I would want to think about is, are there things I can do to make that ramp matchup a little bit better? Or to possibly make the blue-green flash matchup better. And I honestly don't have any suggestions for that offhand. I would need to sit down and play the matchups a bunch to figure that out. So that would... I think I liked this configuration. I don't feel like I missed Gadwick. Dream Eater was excellent today, so I was pretty happy with that. I think I'm going to update the list on my site to probably match this. Maybe one change I would consider making is playing a third Fabled Passage. I definitely felt red light in more than one of those games, so I think swapping an island to a third Fabled Passage is probably reasonable. Just because with Embercleave wanting red, we definitely lost more than one game because I was missing red for an Embercleave that would have been lethal. All right, we're going to play some Gruul aggro up next. It's also another good deck, so maybe that can drag us into Mythic today. I'm going to do a quick ad roll while we get set up for that. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Don't go anywhere.